Welcome everyone. So we are going to discuss a very interesting topic today. It's Containerlab. So over the years, I have experimented with a lot of emulators, starting with Dynamips, which was years and years ago. Then later it got evolved into GNS3. After that, I used ESXi for some of the Juniper expert level examinations, and finally I used a version of a Containerlab, and now it got changed to some other commercial version. I've used IOU and then VRNetLab, which I really liked, and finally all started to fit together in the Containerlab. I'll show you the power of the Containerlab. I have mixed it with Gemini to generate the Containerlab YAML files. I had this problem before where the YAML file generation was not that obvious for me, especially when I was going and deploying a larger version of the Containerlab. But I think with the help of LLM we can make it real easy. Juniper, on the other hand, Juniper and Arista, both of them, which are more aggressive in some of the enterprise data center deployments nowadays, they have opened up their software versions wherein you can download and experiment. You no longer need to have a registered user access to do something like that. They are freely, openly available now for you to go ahead, download, and create a version of it. Now for this lab part, I have a server which is on the cloud. I've used all the major cloud providers. For this instance, I've installed it in one of the hyperscaler. The only important aspect, it doesn't matter which hyperscaler you'd use, you can use Oracle, Amazon, GCP, Azure, whichever cloud provider that you use. Make sure you use something similar to spot instances, where you will be offered the same metal server for a very less price. You have to make sure that the server and the OS is KVM enabled, which will help for the virtualization of the KVM image. So without further ado, let's look into this. So containerlab.dev is the package or the website that you have to go into. They have very good install instructions. I'll not really go through it because it's pretty straightforward. You just have to point it to a script, and script will do most of it. It technically runs on a Docker. You also have a beta version availability where you can now start enabling it for Kubernetes, but it is still in the beta phase. So Containerlab is fast, easy to install, and works on any Linux system with the Docker. It works on Mac and Windows as well. Whether you are building a home lab, validating network designs, or automating your testing and CI workflows, Containerlab gives you a powerful, flexible, and scalable platform to bring your network topologies to life. That is very true. We are going to install a two back-to-back Juniper router connected topology. It's on Junos Evolved. Now if you follow the link that it is there in the Junos Labs, you will have the free download links for the Junos images. You just have to download the QCOW2 image and put it in the same folder and follow the instructions, and it will build a lab. So what do I mean by that? So if I go to this, so what do I mean by this? So if we go into the lab and see one of the folders, it's a VRNetLab, but it's cloned, and it's a mirror of, it's a what do we say? It's a fork, right? Sorry. It's a fork of the VRNetLab created by the other user. So when you fork it and when you go into the installation, instructions are pretty straightforward and they're available. So these are all the routers that it supports, right? So if we go into, let's say, vJunos evolved, right? You just download the QCOW image and and once you download the QCOW image, just say sudo make and it will do rest of the things for you. So once it does it, so if you see your Docker images, you'll then see that it has pinned up a new image which is based on 24.4, right? Now let's go to Gemini and let's explore how can we spin up a lab. Okay, so tried something before. Okay, Containerlab topology creator. Okay, so what I'm going to do is so I have the user manual. This is the command reference. I'm going to take a print and put it here. There are a couple of lab examples. We'll go and put it here. There are kinds. We are going to put it in the same quick start, and we are going to put it in the quick start. So let's go to Gemini and give it the knowledge. Okay, so we are going to give all these files. And we did a very extensive series on prompt engineering. So how we are using Gemini, what are gems and stuff is pretty much covered there, and you might also pick up a few other hacks from there. So here I'll just write one-liner. Help the engineer to generate Containerlab topology files based on the input request. And you see this particular one, so when you use Gemini, it will try to rewrite based on the context and also like the available knowledge files. So it has very in detailed written us the instructions. I'm very happy with that. Now what we have to do here is, let's go back. Given my Docker image, can you please create a topology file for 2 Juniper routers connected back to back and give me initial Containerlab commands. So it has given us the topology and it is using this particular image. It is giving us a command and it is also giving us a command to destroy. So let's copy this one. Let's go here, say mkdir test cd test. We'll say vim test dot clab dot yaml. So we'll paste it here, and for the deploy, okay, so it has used the name Juniper back to back, so let's use the same name, MV. Okay, I don't think it matters. For the consistency, we'll use the same name. Okay, and this is the command that we have to use. So let's remove the -t. So sure enough, I think it started to ping, bring up both the routers. Let's ask what is -t used for. Just like that, right? So it tries to give us like some explanation of it, but for us it didn't matter because we never used -t. So and if you say, I think you can inspect. So Containerlab inspect, we have both the routers. Let's try to SSH. Admin. I think it is still spinning up, so let it spin up. So if you see, it takes quite a bit of the system. It's at 15 gigs. That's why like having a KVM based server would always help. So it came up now. Admin at 123 is the default username, password. So when it comes up, you will see like 12 data plane interfaces. Okay, let it come online. So you can ask the same thing. So for example, create me a full mesh of 10 Juniper routers. Let's say 5 Juniper routers based on the same image. Start naming them R1, R2, so on. So that's a very simple command, and you don't have to figure out like the full mesh. Like this is especially like a class fabric way of doing things, right? So let's try to ask it, right? So let's say, can you give me a 3-tier class with 16 leaf, 8 spine, 2 super spine. This is fantastic. You see the power of it. Like it just, like for us to like do something like this, it would have taken us a lot of time, right? Now if I just use this and okay, it came online. So I've told that we have all of it. First let's do a ping and let's get done with the lab. So I will assign something. And let's do an inspect. So let's go to 3. Say admin at 1, 2, 3, configure. It's a 2. And we can ping, right? So that proves the Containerlab. Now let's go to this Pine thing that we have just created, just to test the metal power, right? So let's say mkdir test2 cd test2, say vm test2 clab yaml to set paste. So that's my leaf and spine. So this is class, it's named as class 3 tab. So let's go. Okay, Containerlab deploy class 3 tire. Wow, now that is really powerful. And if I go to htop, sure enough, it's now like spiking up, the server is spiking up, but it's able to easily handle it, right? Like this is how we sort of create the power, and using an LLM, it can give us like the entire thing, and the more context that you give, the powerful it becomes, right? I'm running this on a hyperscaler. It has 48 vCPUs, 192 GB RAM. It supports KVM. You can run on your own laptop depending on like the size you want it, or go for like spot instances where you'll have more value for a very less amount of money. This is on Ubuntu. I've used Gemini on how to use this and create alerts however it fits you, and that's about it. So quickly wanted to demonstrate Gemini and the use of the Containerlab. We would build on this and start build tooling. So one agent would be a function call where it takes the input and creates the file. The second agent would go ahead and deploy it. The third agent would go ahead and destroy it, for example. So we'll do more of it. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in